If you clicked on this video, it is not an accident. It is not because the algorithm favored you. It is not because you were just curious. You are here because something ancient inside you just stirred. There is a knowing you have carried your entire life. A quiet awareness that you were never meant to live like everyone else. You've tried to ignore it. You've tried to blend in. You've tried to be normal. But the truth is, you were never created to be ordinary. Chosen one, there is an angelic authority resting on your life. Not because you are perfect. Not because you are flawless. But because God trusted you with something heaven itself respects. This is not about wings. This is not fantasy. This is not pride. This is about assignment. And today, the Spirit of God is pulling the veil back. Stay with me until the end. Because by the time this message is over, you will finally understand why your life has never made sense to people. And why the enemy has been watching you since birth. Let's clear something up. When God speaks of angelic power, He is not saying you are an angel. He is saying you carry authority that angels recognize. Scripture tells us that angels are ministering spirits sent to serve those who will inherit salvation. That means angels don't just move randomly. They respond to divine alignment. Chosen one, there are moments in your life where protection showed up that cannot be explained. Times when danger missed you by inches. Times when doors closed violently, only to later save your life. That wasn't luck. That was heaven responding to who you are becoming. Your presence shifts atmospheres. Your obedience activates protection. Your prayers don't fall to the ground, they trigger movement. That's angelic authority. And the reason it feels heavy at times is because power was never meant to be light. Have you noticed this? Even in church, even among Christians, you still feel different. You love God deeply, yet you often feel misunderstood. That's because your calling is not just to believe. It is to guard, to warn, to intercede, to carry weight. People sense something about you they cannot name. Some feel comforted. Some feel exposed. Some feel threatened. Jesus experienced the same thing. Angelic authority does not blend in. It reveals. That is why conversations suddenly shift when you speak. That is why people project onto you. That is why your silence is louder than most people's words. You are not antisocial. You are set apart. Let's talk about the resistance. You didn't just face struggle. You faced targeted pressure, confusion in childhood, rejection without explanation, spiritual heaviness that came in waves. The enemy does not fight what carries no threat. Before you ever understood God, darkness recognized what would eventually awaken in you. That's why your attacks were internal before they were external. That's why discouragement tried to live in your mind. That's why isolation became familiar. But here's the truth. You survived things that should have destroyed you. Because your assignment outruns your wounds. Chosen one, angelic power does not announce itself loudly. It does not demand attention. It does not perform for approval. It reveals itself quietly. Through patterns in your life that cannot be explained by personality alone. If this power is active in you, you will recognize yourself here. You can walk into a room and feel it. Not emotions. Burdens. You sense tension, grief, deception, or heaviness without being told. You suddenly feel led to pray for someone you haven't spoken to in years. You feel emotional shifts that don't belong to your personal circumstances. That is not empathy alone. That is intercessory awareness. Angelic authority heightens sensitivity because heaven trusts you to notice what others ignore. That's why you sometimes feel tired for no clear reason. You're carrying what hasn't been spoken yet. You cannot live casually with God. What others brush off convicts you deeply. You feel unsettled when you delay obedience. Peace leaves when you compromise, even slightly. Joy returns the moment you realign. That's because angelic power requires alignment to flow. Angels move with order, not chaos. They respond to obedience, not intention. So when you drift, your spirit feels heavy. not because God is angry, but because you're built to function in sync with heaven. Looking back, there are moments you should not have survived. Accidents that missed you. Decisions that should have destroyed you, but didn't. People who meant harm, yet somehow lost access to you. There were times you were warned before danger arrived. Times you felt a sudden, "Don't go," or "Stay home," and later understood why. That is angelic intervention responding to divine assignment. Protection follows purpose. Notice this pattern. When you are spiritually passive, things feel quiet. But the moment you pray consistently, the moment you fast, the moment you seek God deeply, resistance shows up. Distractions multiply. Fatigue increases. Temptations intensify. That is not coincidence. Darkness does not react to potential. It reacts to activation. When angelic power stirs, opposition tries to drown it out. You are not content with surface-level faith. You notice deception easily. You feel discomfort when truth is diluted. You are burdened when scripture is twisted to fit comfort. This doesn't make you judgmental. It makes you a watchman. Angelic authority often expresses itself as discernment. You are not here to argue. You are here to protect spiritual integrity. You don't hate people. You just function best when you can hear clearly. Noise drains you. Crowds exhaust you. Silence restores you. Solitude is where your spirit resets. That's because angelic power requires clear channels. Jesus often withdrew, not to escape, but to remain aligned. So do you. Not anger. Not superiority. Grief. You see brokenness and feel sorrow, not judgment. You long for people to encounter God, not to be right, but to be healed. That grief is holy. It is the same grief Jesus carried when he wept over Jerusalem. Angelic authority always carries compassion. You are not getting louder. You are getting clearer. Less reactive. More discerning. More intentional. You speak less, but when you do, it carries weight. This is maturity. Angelic power matures quietly because it understands timing. There is a sense of urgency in your spirit. A feeling that something is approaching. A call to clean up distractions. A desire to deepen prayer, discipline, and surrender. You don't know the details. But you know this. You must be ready. That's not anxiety. That's activation. When you say yes to God, peace rushes in. Not because the situation changes, but because heaven aligns around your obedience. That peace is confirmation. Chosen one. If you recognize yourself in this, do not be afraid. You are not awakening into pride. You are awakening into responsibility. Angelic power is not about status. It is about service, obedience, and surrender. And the more you yield, the more heaven moves with you. This is not the end. This is the moment you finally understand why your life has always felt different. You often wondered, why did my life feel delayed? Why was I unseen? Why did nothing move when I was ready? Because exposure without maturity destroys angelic authority. God hides what he is sharpening. Joseph was hidden. David was hidden. Jesus lived 30 years before 3 years of ministry. Your silence was not punishment. It was training. You were learning restraint, discernment, humility, endurance. Now the season is shifting. Chosen one, hear this carefully. What God placed inside you was never meant to impress people. It was never designed to attract applause. It was never given to build an image. This power is not decorative. It is functional. And its function is war. Not war with people. Not arguments. Not ego battles. But spiritual confrontation. If God revealed you too early, you would mistake influence for approval, and authority for popularity. So he delays visibility. Because power that is shown before it is anchored becomes a weapon in the wrong hands. You are being shaped to stand, not perform. Angelic authority does not seek attention. It seeks alignment. Look back at your life. God didn't remove the fire. He increased your capacity to endure it. You learned to pray when answers were silent. You learned to obey when clarity was missing. You learned to stay faithful when reward was delayed. That was training. Because war does not allow emotional fragility. It requires steadiness. You don't have to raise your voice. You don't have to explain yourself. Darkness reacts because authority is recognized in the spirit realm. That's why tension rises when you enter certain spaces. That's why conversations shift. That's why some people resist you without reason. You are not aggressive. You are carrying light. And light always confronts darkness by existing. Your prayers are not casual. They carry urgency. They carry burden. They carry weight. That's why prayer sometimes feels exhausting. You're not repeating words. You're standing in the gap. Angelic power flows most strongly through intercession. Not public moments. Private surrender. Some opportunities never worked out. Not because you weren't good enough, but because the platform was premature. God is more concerned with your obedience than your exposure. Because a platform can elevate you faster than your character can sustain. So He protects you. Even when it feels like rejection. War always brings resistance. When you pray deeply, opposition intensifies. When you fast, distractions multiply. When you align, pressure increases. This does not mean you are failing. It means you are effective. Angelic authority provokes reaction. Some will think you're too intense, too serious, too focused. They won't see the war you see. That's okay. Soldiers don't explain themselves to civilians. Your assignment does not require consensus. It requires obedience. This is critical. The more you try to control outcomes, the weaker the power feels. The more you surrender, the stronger it flows. Angelic authority moves through humility. That's why Jesus said, "I only do what I see the Father doing." Alignment is your strength. No one will see the prayers that broke chains. No one will applaud the obedience that shifted outcomes. No one will know how close you came to quitting. But heaven sees. And heaven responds. Angels move where faith is quiet and obedience is steady. Never forget this. This authority exists for rescue, for restoration, for deliverance. Not to make you special, but to make you useful. The moment ego enters, power leaks. The moment humility leads, heaven advances. Chosen one. This power is not glamorous. It is costly, but it is trusted. You were not chosen because you are strong. You were chosen because you are willing. And heaven always backs those who are willing. They may call you intense, too serious, too deep, too spiritual. Let them. They said Jesus had a demon. They said Jeremiah was negative. They said Paul was insane. Angelic authority makes people uncomfortable because it reminds them of accountability. You are not here to be liked. You are here to be obedient. Chosen one. This is not a section you rush through. This is a moment you enter. If you can, pause what you're doing. Sit still. Breathe. Because activation does not come through noise. It comes through alignment. Before anything is released, something must be laid down. You have been carrying guilt that God already forgave. Shame that does not belong to your future. Fear that was formed in survival, not in truth. Right now, in your spirit, release it. Say quietly, "Lord, I lay this down." Angelic authority does not operate through heaviness. It flows through surrender. You don't need clarity yet. You only need willingness. God never activates those who have all the answers. He activates those who say yes without conditions. So say this, even if your voice shakes. God, I am willing. That sentence alone realigns heaven. Chosen one, this power comes with weight. Not pressure. Responsibility. You may feel emotion rise. Tears. Warmth. Stillness. Don't resist it. That is your spirit recognizing what it was designed to carry. You are not being overwhelmed. You are being aligned. Receive this slowly. I declare that confusion is breaking off your mind. I declare that spiritual dullness is lifting. I declare that your discernment is sharpening, not hardening. I declare that fear will no longer interrupt obedience. I declare that your prayer life will deepen without striving. I declare that discipline will feel natural, not forced. I declare that angels are being assigned to your obedience, not to your ambition. I declare that where you once hesitated, you will now move with clarity. No more double-mindedness. No more spiritual whiplash. No more emotional exhaustion from resisting the call. This is the season where your yes becomes stable. Not loud. Not dramatic. Stable. And stability terrifies darkness. Your words will carry more weight. Your prayers will feel sharper. Your convictions will deepen without bitterness. You will no longer chase confirmation. Confirmation will follow obedience. Do not rush this. Do not announce it. Let it settle. Let your life reflect what your mouth doesn't need to explain. Walk slowly. Listen carefully. Obey quickly. That is how angelic authority matures. Chosen one. What God is activating in you today will not be taken. It will be refined. You are sealed not by emotion, but by obedience. And heaven responds to obedience every time. Chosen one. Take a moment, not to analyze what you just heard, but to feel the stillness that followed it. That quiet settling in your spirit is not confusion. It is confirmation. What was spoken today did not add something new to you. It awakened what was already there. You didn't suddenly become chosen. You didn't suddenly receive authority. You simply remembered. From this point forward, things will feel different. Not dramatic. Not chaotic. Just clearer. You will notice yourself pulling away from what once drained you. You will feel less need to explain yourself. You will sense when to speak, and when silence carries more power. That is maturity. That is alignment. Do not expect everyone to understand your shift. Some will feel distance where there is no offense. Some will sense change without language to name it. Some may try to pull you back into old versions of yourself. Do not fight them. Just keep walking. Alignment does not argue. It continues. There will still be challenges. You will still have moments of doubt. You will still face resistance. But it will not shake you the way it once did. Because now you know. You are not being attacked because you are weak. You are being refined because you are trusted. Let your life become quieter, but deeper. Let your prayer become simpler, but stronger. Let your obedience be private, but consistent. That is how angelic authority matures. If this message spoke to your spirit, do not rush to share it. Sit with it. Let it take root. And when the time is right, God will show you who needs what you carry. Chosen one. This video was not a destination. It was a doorway. What comes next will not look like what came before. Because you are not the same person who clicked play. Stay close to God. Stay anchored in humility. Stay faithful in the unseen. And remember this. This is not the peak. This is not the finale. This is only the beginning. Chosen one, before you go, I want to speak to the givers, the ones whose hearts feel called to pour back into the vessel that pours into them. If this message awakened you, if it strengthened you, if it spoke to your spirit in a way only heaven could orchestrate, then I invite you, only if your heart feels led, to sow a $1 seed into this channel. Not because God needs it, but because giving is a spiritual law. A small seed carries big obedience. And God multiplies what is given with pure intention. Your $1 keeps this ministry alive, keeps the messages flowing, and helps this word reach the next chosen one who needs it. If you feel that nudge in your spirit, if you feel that gentle pull, you can plant your $1 seed using the link in the description. And if you can't or don't feel led, you are still loved, still seen, and still covered. Blessings to every giver, and blessings to every listener. Your seed moves heaven in ways you may never see. But God sees it all.